going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Jedi Temple raid and ways you can prepare yourself for it with your roster, how to use the era battles to your advantage, and we're also going to talk a little bit about speculation with what else we could be seeing as teams used for this raid. We don't have the full roster yet. We're going to talk a little bit about what we would likely see in terms of logic and lore. We're gonna break that all down in today's video. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's dive into it. So what we know so far in terms of characters that will be used for the Jedi Temple raid, we know that the new Bad Batch, which is the Omega Fugitive, Hunter and Wrecker Mercenary, Crosshair Scarred, and Batcher, those are all going to be used as a new team with Bad Batch. We'll be using that in the raid. We also know Era of the Revenge of the Sith characters, which is the 4 new Darkside Clone Troopers with Apo, CX2, Scorch, and Disguised Clone Trooper, as well as the 2 new Vanguard marquees with Depa and with Jedi Temple Guard, as well as the legendary Mace Windu. So that gives us a starting roster in terms of what we are expecting from this. We also know there's going to be more characters, they just haven't told us yet, and what we can start by talking about is Bad Batch. We can start by breaking down Bad Batch and what you can do for them to start farming them. So far, 2 of those characters are farmable in Batcher and Omega Fugitive, and we should be seeing the next character in Hunter Mercenary be farmable within the next couple of weeks, followed by Wrecker and then Crosshair Scarred. Now, we don't know the exact date of when this raid is going to launch, but we can kind of infer based on patterns from before when we can expect it. The Jar Jar Legendary released 2 months before we had the battle for Naboo, and we are looking at end of June for the Mace Windu Legendary event. So we're looking late July, August, possibly. They could do it sooner, we'll see, but we are expecting during the summer to see the Jedi Temple raid drop. Now, what that means is that we've got somewhere around 3 months right now to really, May, June, July, so we're looking probably 3 months of farming the Bad Batch we have right now, and then once Crosshair becomes farmable, now you're down to like 1.5 months, 2 months at that point. So if you're looking to get Bad Batch up in time for the raid, you're going to be doing crystal refreshes on their nodes. Right now, Omega Fugitive is in 3D Darkside, and Batcher is on a fleet node, I believe 4C? 4C hard fleet battles. So you can farm those regularly, but you're probably starting to look at refreshes for those nodes. It's 50 crystals to refresh those nodes. Use those crystals from Grand Arena and from territory battles and other places to give you crystals. Start using those to refresh those nodes. This team, I have no doubt this team is going to be good inside of the raid. It would be weird if the newer teams like this and the Jedi Vanguard and the Darkside Clone Troopers, if they're not good. It just wouldn't make sense. It would really annoy a lot of players. But, I mean, to be fair also, Bad Batch is an incredibly good team. This is a marquee team that has no business being as good as it is, being a level of like Riva in terms of Grand Arena, just being an absurdly strong team in Grand Arena. But, so if you are going to be farming up this team, at least there's knowledge that you're going to have longevity with this team beyond the Jedi Temple raid. We don't know how long the raid's going to last. Hopefully it's as long as Naboo, because that was like a year plus, while Endor was only about 9 months thereabouts. So hopefully this raid sticks around for a while. That way it gives people time to build up this roster and you get a lot of use out of them. But also, we need to talk about Jedi Vanguard and also the Darkside Clone Troopers. Let's start by talking about the Clone Troopers. So currently, we have the Apo Marquee battle going on right now, and you can see I'm going for 7 stars on him just so I can get the Kron here, but ideally, the way you want to focus on Apo and the way you're going to want to focus on the Jedi Temple Guard as well is that what you want to go for shard counts on them is going to be at 58 out of 65 shards, and that is going to be just below 5 stars. And the reason we're going to be doing this is because of the era battle information that we have so far, where if you go over and they talk about the layout, and you can see here, you know, we get our era battles for Apo, then CX2, then Disguised Clone Trooper, and then over here we get Jedi Temple Guard, and we get 2 era battles with him. What you're doing for that is because you're manipulating the rewards in a certain way. So the first tier of the era battle is going to give you 7 shards. Now, because we have Apo here, it's guaranteed to be 7 shards of Apo. And what it means at 58 out of 65 is you get those 7 shards, you now promote him to 5 stars, and now you can do tier 2, which gives you another 10 to 15 shards. So you can use this as a way to maximize, which means you really want to push for being just under 5 stars on Apo, so you can get those shards, and then you can just start using era battles. Now, obviously, we're going to get more in the future in terms of clone troopers and Jedi Vanguard, but we have this going for us at least in that we can maximize the shards right away with what we're farming here. And this is going to help give you a nice boost to these characters, because also these characters are probably not going to become farmable until after the Jedi Temple raid drops. Well, Appo maybe, but Jedi Vanguard will more than likely is not going to be. We get the Mace Windu event right after Depa's battle or marquee event ends, so we are looking somewhere right around the middle of the next era is when we are looking at getting the new raid. And that means that, yeah, Appo's going to be farmable, CX2 could be farmable, but your other two clone troopers or Jedi Vanguard are more than likely not going to be farmable when this raid drops. That means you've really got to push what you can to get out of those era battles. And then at that point, we're looking at, I don't know, trying to think how long it took before Jar Jar's event came back. Felt like it was a while after the Naboo raid dropped before Jar Jar's event came back. They were really stingy with bringing back Jar Jar's event. I remember just sitting there waiting for him to come back. It took a while. So if you're not getting Mace Windu on this first one, you then have to look at what other teams you're going to be bringing in, and that's where things are going to get a little more tricky. Now, if you go and look at what we have for the Jedi Vanguard right now, you're going to notice that a lot of these characters also have overlap with the Battle for Naboo. The only two Vanguard that are not used inside the Battle for Naboo right now are Ama-Gunai and Barriss Offee. Barriss is an interesting choice because Barriss she was a traitor to the Jedi, and she was like kind of there for Order 66. She saw it far away, and I remember a clone trooper basically telling her that she was lucky she wasn't a Jedi anymore. But yeah, Barriss has a lead, which is okay. I mean, she's got a pretty solid Zeta. We've got Ama-Gunai with a terrible lead, and the one Jedi who has anti-droid synergy besides Eth Koth, and we can't use him inside the Battle for Naboo, but maybe we get to use him inside the Order 66. Two other Vanguard I would like to see, because they were there for the Jedi Temple, were Shaak Ti and Kelleran Beq. I mean, obviously we all know about Kelleran Beq if you watched the Mandalorian show. Shaak Ti, there was a deleted scene, I believe, in Revenge of the Sith, where she was killed by Grievous on his ship at the beginning of the movie. They got rid of it, and now canonically she was defeated by Lord Vader inside the Jedi Temple raid. So she was there. Both these characters were there. Kelleran Beq has a really good lead already. Shaak Ti has a decent lead. I would love to see how this works with Darkside clone troopers in the future. But the one thing I'm getting at here is that CG's got to throw us a bone somehow, because we have three teams basically that are going to be like, they're kind of newish teams. They're going to be hard to farm. You're going to have to really push to get them up in time. We've got to get some teams in here that are going to be good. They're going to be using the raid that are easily accessible, because if you go and let's just look at the Battle for Naboo, just to get an idea of what we're looking at here. So Battle for Naboo, we had Gungans and we had Queen Amidala. We had those two teams. There were newer teams, and they're both really good in the raid. But then we also have some older teams here. We have some Separatist droids. We have the Maul, Gunray, Sidious trio team. That's pretty solid, though the rework to the raid has kind of made that more difficult. We've got the old Jedi team with Luminara, Kit Fisto, and some other Jedi, and we also have a Kelleran Beq team with some Jedi as well. So we have older teams that are good. They're not as good as, say, Gungans and Queen Amidala, but they're still good. And this is where I'm going with, is that they're gonna have to give us a bone, throw us a bone somehow in teams that are gonna be more accessible. And some teams that I think could make sense. We're gonna start with Inquisitorius, because they weren't there for the Temple raid, but they're very much they're in line with the theme. You know, Order 66, the Jedi Purge. I mean, it's Inquisitorius. We've got the Purge debuff on them, for crying out loud. This is a team I think could be in there. It makes sense logically, lore-wise. I mean, Grand Inquisitor was a Jedi Temple guard. I believe, yes, several Inquisitors were there for Order 66, or were like captured or converted. So there is ties between Inquisitorius and Order 66 and the Jedi Temple raid. So this is a team I would like to see. This is a team that a lot of people have built up over time. A lot of people these days probably have Reva, because she's been farmable for quite a while inside of the Rise of the Empire territory battle. So this is one that could make sense. Another one that could be interesting, though I don't know, is going to be 501st, because You have Lord Vader and the dark side clones. Well, now you've got General Skywalker and the light side clones. That one could be interesting. But really, I think the Jedi Vanguard in particular, and maybe we get a rework to I'm Gonna Die. Maybe we get a lift on him. But also, we've got Empire because we've got Grand Moff Tarkin with the lead for dark side clones. The question is there going to be an Empire team that you can use with Tarkin that is going to that's going to work here if you don't have the dark side clones? And that one I don't know. I mean, maybe, oh man, I'm trying to think. There's not a lot of Empire characters here that work for the Jedi Temple raid. I almost said Sith Temple raid. Wrong raid. Yeah, there's not a lot here that works with Order 66, but we have this Tarkin lead that's going to be used as a lead for clones. So maybe they just don't touch Empire at all. But we do know that overall we have 30 characters for the Battle of Naboo. We have 30 characters for the Endor raid. So we're looking at probably the same amount of characters we're going to be using for the Operation Knightfall raid as well. So we're kind of getting what we can figure out from there. We got 5 from Bad Batch. We have the 4 new dark side clones with Tarkin. That's another 5. We have the Jedi Vanguard. We have the 3 Marquis with Mace. That's 3. Probably I'm Gonna Die and Barriss. That would make 15. So that's half our roster, which means we got to fill it out somewhere else. Inquisitorius could fit in here. I wonder if they're going to make the whole team available or if they're going to do restrictions. If they don't let us use Reva lead, God help us, because we really need that Reva lead to make the Inquisitors work. And then 501st would be another good 5. I don't think Ahsoka would be here because Ahsoka was just far away, but maybe 501st works with this. So we're kind of starting to push that 30 character limit for the raid, and that's where we're gonna have to see what we get in the future. Maybe we get something like with Seer, since Seer was like a Jedi. I don't think she wasn't there for Order 66, but she was involved. Maybe Cal, because we do know from Star Wars Jedi Survivor that, you know, he was witness to his master being gunned down by clone troopers from Order 66. Maybe we get some Phoenix characters in here as well. Maybe we get Kanan Jarrus because of his ties with Depa. Depa was his master. Depa was killed during Order 66. So, you know, maybe we see Kanan here. Maybe Ezra gets involved too. We'll see how that all pans out. It's going to be interesting to see what all we get used as characters here. Let me know what you guys think down below. Who do you think is going to be the other characters they have not revealed yet for the Jedi Temple raid? As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.